Hi there, welcome to Pleasure Pathways, your go-to destination for empowering, informative, and fun content on sexual wellness and intimacy. Whether you're looking for expert tips, personal insights, or product reviews, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Venus O'Hara, and I'll be accompanying you on this pathway to pleasure. It's almost Valentine's Day, and you can enjoy some very special discounts. For example, with the code LOVE12, you can get 12% off from February the 5th to the 14th. Or you can use my exclusive discount code Venus15, and you can get 15% off. Both new and existing customers can use the code LOVE12 or my exclusive code Venus15. These codes can be used in conjunction with other offers. For example, you can get $10 off if you spend over $100. And that's between the 5th and the 9th of February. Or you can get $30 off if you spend $150 or more. And that offer is from February the 10th to the 14th. And in addition, you can get 59% off our sale products. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to manifest love. Oh yeah, are you looking for love? If so, keep watching. I'm going to be sharing lots of tips for you to prepare for love, as well as sharing tips on how to find love. The first place to start if you are looking for love is self-love. You must love yourself first. That is so important. I cannot emphasize it enough. It's very important that you are coming from a place of wholeness. You must be a complete person. It mustn't be the case. It's not good to look for a partner to fill a void, to fill a hole in your life. They must be adding value to your life, which is already good without them. For example, I like to think about it like a cupcake. Imagine your favorite cupcake. You've got the sponge, you've got the frosting on top, and then imagine that is your life. A relationship should be like the cherry on top. So what is self-love really? Self-love can be many things. It can start with a self-care practice. Things like just taking care of yourself, such as going for massages, pampering yourself, really taking care of your body, eating well, taking care of your environment, and also making time for love as well. I think it's very important to have self-compassion as well, especially when you are looking at or taking stock on your past relationships. That's very important as well, because we are very influenced by our past relationships and also our family dynamics. And maybe if you are looking for love between relationships, this might be a time to go back and look at some of the things that have been patterns for you in the past, or different dynamics that keep on showing up. So it's good to get clarity on these things. You might even want to consult a relationship coach or a therapist to really identify these patterns that might need to change when you are looking for your future partner, so that nothing is holding you back from finding love. It's also good to invest in your friendships and your hobbies and your social life, so that you're coming from a place of happiness and joy. Because when you are happy and joyful and complete, it's more likely that you're going to attract someone into your life as well. But more about the practical tips later on. So once you've established a self-love practice every single day, well, something that I did a few years ago actually, was that I used to keep a small diary, and I used to write every day 3 actions of self-love that I had done that day. And they could be things like I ate organic food, or I went to the gym, or I went for a massage, a manicure, a pedicure, things like that. They were always acts of self-care, self-love, or even educating myself, going to learn a new hobby, a new skill, for example, or even reading a book. All of these things that are making me love myself more, really cultivating my self-esteem, because self-esteem is very important as well. And self-esteem is about how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself. Because when you have good self-esteem, good self-worth, you're going to choose a much better partner, or attract a much better partner and a much better relationship. So once you're doing some self-love practices every day, the next stage after that will be to gain clarity on what kind of relationship you're looking for and what kind of partner you are looking for. Some people like to make lists, like wish lists. And this, in my opinion, shouldn't be a list about what someone should look like, what their job should be. I don't know, that seems a little bit superficial. I think it's more important to focus on values and also lifestyle. Are your lives going to be able to blend together? So it's a good idea to think about things from your past that have worked well that you might want in a future relationship and things that you are not willing to put up with. So maybe you want to make 2 lists, maybe something that you actually want, desire, need, and something else that you really don't want, the red flags. So the green flags and the red flags. It can be quite insightful to make that list. But what's more important than making a list on, let's say, the attributes of your ideal person? I think it's really important to focus on how you want them to make you feel. How do you want to feel in a relationship? Do you want to feel seen, heard, supported? Do you want to have fun with that person? So what are things that are important to you in a relationship? Would you like someone who is, let's say, into dogs? Do you want someone who's into travel, someone who's adventurous, or maybe someone who's more of a homebody? So those types of things, habits and different attributes, can be a good idea to think about. And maybe I know someone who said to me that they had a list of 10 things and 5 were non-negotiable. Yeah, it's not easy to make these lists, but I think at the end of the day, it's a good indicator to get clarity on what you want. And going beyond a list, you might actually want to start journaling about your ideal relationship. What kind of person would you like to be with, and what would be, let's say, an ideal date or an ideal living scenario? How would you like to live with that person? Or a typical day in your relationship. How would you like to spend your weekends with that person? That's a very important thing as well. That's kind of good to get into that practice of journaling. So, because sometimes when you start journaling, I don't know if you do journaling very often, but I do it a lot. Once you start, you can start uncovering some things that you've always felt inside you or always known, but you've never articulated them. So I've uncovered so many things about myself just through writing with the right prompts. So that was a good idea to start with. Things like, what is my ideal partner like? Or what is an ideal date? Something like that. That's a great place to start. Something else that's very important is to know what kind of relationship you're looking for. Are you looking for something serious, commitment, maybe a marriage even? Do you want monogamy? Do you want to be open? Are you open to being monogamish? What kind of relationship would you like? There are many ways to live relationships these days. It's actually fundamental ingredient to a good relationship is to know that you are on the same page when it comes to relationship styles. So that's part of the preparation. Now let's see about the actions. What actions can you take to find love? First of all, there are some energetic actions if you are into energy stuff. I actually love this rose quartz crystal. Rose quartz is the crystal that has the energy of love. So having a rose quartz crystal, let's say, maybe not so big, not as big as this one, you could have a smaller one and carry it in your handbag. Or maybe you want to put it under your pillow. It serves as a reminder that you are looking for love. And yeah, so you can even hold it and just meditate and just think about the love that you are attracting into your life. Rose quartz is also a stone for self-love, so it's a great place to start, especially if you're into meditation. And in addition to journaling about your ideal date, your ideal partner, your ideal relationship, perhaps you can take a moment to sit down, close your eyes, or even lie down, put some nice music on, and just close your eyes, take deep breaths, and visualize these moments, this person. How are they going to make you feel? What are you going to do on a Saturday? What makes you excited with them? How do they support you when you need it? What is your intimate life like? That's a kind of really fun way to visualize. Visualization is a very powerful technique because you're engaging your imagination as well as your emotions. And this can really help you to clarify exactly what you're looking for. But there's a danger with this type of practice with visualization or even having these lists. It's very important, I think, not to look for perfection because perfect people do not exist. I think it's good to have, let's say, an 80% match, and that 20% is something that you can tolerate or perhaps work on, because that's very important, not just actually having, ticking off a list, but also being with someone who's actually prepared to grow with you and to communicate with you and to actually overcome any type of obstacle that may arise, because relationships are challenging and it's important to be with someone who is open to learning with you and growing with you. Of course, you want someone who's going to accept you as you are, because sometimes I think when people go on dates, they often blame the other person. They cannot see their own flaws or shortcomings. But it's very important to realize that no one is perfect. You want to be with someone who's actually going to accept you are, and you want to accept them for who they are as well. So it's nice to have visualizations, but remember that real life can sometimes be a little bit different. Something I love to do when I am looking for something in my life, I like to do affirmations. Affirmations are sentences affirmations. They are sentences in present tense that speak about your desired outcome as if it's already happening. And these are some affirmations from a meditation that I wrote. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and listen to these powerful affirmations. I am ready for love. I am worthy of love. I deserve to be loved. My soulmate loves me just as I am. My heart is open to giving love. My heart is open to receiving love. Love starts with me. And I love myself. I am ready to meet my soulmate. I am open to receive love. I am holding space for my soulmate. I attract love by loving myself first. I accept myself just as I am, and so does my partner. I deserve a happy, healthy, and loving relationship. My life is full of love. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be supported. Love starts with me, and I love myself. And there you have it. You can listen to affirmations over and over again so they get into your subconscious mind, so that you know that you believe that you deserve love. That's so important. You know that you deserve love and that you are worthy of love. Another thing to do with affirmations is actually to write them down and have them in your wallet and a screensaver so you're seeing them all the time. Or maybe you want to put them on a piece of paper and read them just before you go to bed and put the paper under your pillow. And then you can read it first thing in the morning as well. It's a kind of good time to actually do that before you go to bed and just after waking up, because your brain is still half sleepy, and then it can be like you absorb those messages more easily. So those were some energetic actions. Now let's see some real actions. I think it's a great idea to read some books and watch videos about this topic as well, so that you start to really prepare yourself for welcoming your next love into your life. I'm going to share with you 3 of my favorite books for manifesting love. And I'm not alone in these recommendations. A lot of people love these books. The first book I recommend is Calling in the One: 7 Weeks to Attract the Love of Your Life. And this is written by Catherine Woodward Thomas. This is a book that is 49 days, 7 weeks, just a couple of pages every day. And then there is an exercise. This is like a therapy course. It's amazing. You kind of revisit your family dynamics, past relationships, and you really start to work on yourself to actually get ready to welcome love. If you read the reviews on this on Amazon, it's quite amazing that many people who have actually read this book find their soulmate not long after reading the book. It really gets you into a space of analyzing things that have been going wrong for you, different patterns, but also getting clarity on what you're looking for. It's such a good book. I highly recommend it. And also if you're someone who's not really into reading, it's just a couple of pages every day. It could just be 10 minutes a day. And 10 minutes when you're looking for love, which is so important, is not such a big sacrifice at all. So I really recommend this book, Calling in the One, 7 Weeks to Attract the Love of Your Life. The next book I recommend is 8 Rules of Love by Jay Shetty. How to find it, keep it, and let it go. And I love this book so much. And the first chapter also talks about self-love. And the second chapter was kind of hard. It talks about karmic cycle, things that are popping up for you over and over again. And there are many exercises in this book. You can really look at your own situation and analyze things that are occurring for you and learn how to get over them. And then later on, it talks about dating, the first stages of a relationship, conflict, which is, I didn't think I would enjoy the chapter on conflict so much, but it's actually does show you that when there is a conflict in a relationship, it's a real opportunity for good communication, greater depth, and more connection. And that's a good thing to realize or to know when you are actually looking for love. I know for myself, that was something that put me in a fear mode and made me want to avoid relationships because I was scared of conflict and also losing that person. But when you see it in a way of an opportunity for greater depth and understanding and connection, then there's less fear when we think about conflict. So this is a wonderful book. And the end of the book, it talks about breakups and then universal love. So it starts with self-love as a personal expression of your own self, and then it ends with universal love, loving everybody, not in a romantic way, but in a way of, let's say, just being a nice person to people you work with, people you encounter in your day-to-day life. So this is a wonderful book with lots of exercises as well. Then, one I have just finished reading, I love this book, Things No One Taught Us About Love, and this is by Vex King, and it says how to build healthy relationships with yourself and others. So this also starts with self-love and also having good boundaries and limits, and knowing your worth, knowing what you're looking for, and also it goes through all the things that you can encounter in a relationship, and also ends with breakups as well. So it's good to, even if you're not in a relationship, it's good to read about relationships because that can actually, help you to prepare for those situations and see them as familiar. And it can be like a training. It's like love training. How cool is that? So once you've done all this education on love, preparation, then even more practical solutions would be to get social, get out there, do some hobbies, sign up for new hobbies, do something that you've never done before, do something that you've always wanted to do and you've never had the courage to. Something that I think is amazing is dance lessons. Even if you're not into dance, it can be a wonderful way to meet other people and you just really have a lot of fun learning. But it's a good idea to think about what are your passion, what are your hobbies, because if you meet someone in those contexts, it might be that you're going to connect with like-minded people who have the same passions as you, and that's a great way to be connected to a potential partner. And also, I just think it's a good idea to say yes to different things when you are invited to, let's say, networking events, parties, even if, I don't know about you, but I think sometimes if you're not entirely convinced, it can be a nice idea just to kind of say, okay, let's try this anyway. Because when you say yes to things, you are opening up and you could end up discovering something that you really like that you never knew that you would like so much. I'll tell you a little story. I remember I was living in Paris and I had friends from all over the world and I met these Colombians and they said, we're going to dance salsa on Saturday. And I was thinking, I can't dance salsa. I don't want to dance salsa. I want to dance to pop music. And we ended up in a salsa club. I learned a couple of steps and I had the most incredible evening, one of the best evenings, most surprising evenings of my life. And I ended up being so into salsa that I wanted to learn Spanish and live in Spain. And here I am so many years later, and now I'm a really good salsa dancer. Well, I think I am anyway. So you just never know. It's not always about, sometimes you have to learn what your tastes are, because sometimes we think we know what we want, but it can be a nice idea sometimes just to open up to new ideas and see if you like them or not. And then a more direct approach, which would be dating apps. I know so many people who don't enjoy dating apps. but they do it because they are looking for connection. They want to overcome loneliness. And I understand that, but I think sometimes dating apps can be quite reductive in that we're reducing ourselves to a photo, a couple of sentences, and also you're really putting yourself out there, and people can see, oh, he's looking for love. Oh, I don't know, that makes me feel a little bit strange sometimes. But I think we have to understand that dating apps are just another way of meeting people. And if you use it in that way without any expectations, then it can be a lot easier. So that's something to consider. Or maybe some people just don't mind dating apps at all and they actually enjoy the situation. But even so, it's just a good way to meet people, because sometimes on dating apps, you meet people that you might not encounter in real life. So that's a really good thing, especially for people who are living in rural places. It's kind of harder to meet people, or people who don't have access to good networking events or hobbies, etc. So dating apps, see how you feel about that, but they can be a very good way to meet people. And many people have actually found love on dating apps. And there we have it. If you follow all these tips, you will be one step closer to finding and manifesting love. Yeah. Thank you for watching. And you can find our products on our website, tracysdog.com, and on Amazon. And don't forget to check out our website, our blog, for some more in-depth articles on tracysdog.com. And follow us on Spotify for the latest podcasts. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon on Pleasure Pathways.